Welcome to the Kipax podcast. Please like and subscribe. You're listening to the Kipax podcast.
Nicolas González. Is he a central attacking midfielder or a defensive midfielder? Who is he? Why is he needed? These are the questions Manchester City fans and football fans worldwide would want to get answered to. And you have come to the right place. Alright, to timestamp this video, it's February the 9th. 2025. I think it's around 8 o'clock Eastern time. Manchester City has beat Club Brugge in the Champions League to keep their hope alive of reaching the Champions League round of 16. They're due perennial Champions League winner Real Madrid in the playoffs, right? Real Madrid versus City is essentially a showcase in the previous seasons. The two best different footballing philosophy are footballing school. Pep teaching the tiki-taka because he came from the Barcelona academy. Tiki-taka, possession, passing, possession-based football. He thought that it will win you titles consistently, while Real Madrid philosophy teaches you that a more rounded footballer is better. They teach you counter-attacking football, and they have been playing counter-attacking football for many years. Alright? They both have had major success over this 2 decades. This fixture has had the world watching breathtakingly over many renditions of it, but both will contest this fixture not in the best of form. So this weekend, Manchester City lost 5-1 to Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium. This loss has rehashed uncertainty about us securing our Champions League spot for next season. We were outperforming most aspects of the game, but extremely in midfield. Right? They have signed Nico González to be the chief mathematician, meaning he should be able to solve the problem that we have. 2 problems that we have of Rodri when Rodri is absent. Rodri was able to be the world best defensive midfielder in possession and the best central attacking midfielder out of possession. So Rodri was covering the role of 2 players, and with his absence, it has left a big hole in our midfield area. So Rodri is able to cover the center-back space when it's vacant and be able to make wonder passes or line-breaking passes in attack. And Pep, he wasn't this way when he first arrived. When he first arrived, we had to play a double pivot with him and Fernandinho in midfield so he could get up to pace with the Premier League. Pep take 1.5 seasons to get him to the Rodri that we know currently. And the Rodri that we know currently has won the Ballon d'Or. So Pep had to take 1.5 seasons of coaching just to get him to that level. And this dude, Nico, is nowhere near the level that Rodri was when we took him from La Liga. We took him from Athletic Madrid. He's nowhere near the level that Rodri was, and Nico is now coming here to fill the role of Rodri, and that's what we have. But who is he? Who is he? Where does he come from? Alright, he is a player formerly from the world-renowned footballing academy of La Masia, that Barcelona academy that has produced Messi, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, all those very good players that you know. Alright, during his breakthrough season, he made over 30 appearances for the Barcelona first team. He was dubbed the heir to Sergio Busquets throne, but he couldn't quite took Sergio Busquets role, and he left to join Porto. Barcelona insert in the deal for him to join Porto a 40% sell-on clause. So Manchester City purchasing Nico González has given Barcelona some great deal of money. Alright, Manchester City's scouting team has identified Nico in the past when he was around 14, and made a deal in place to get him to join Manchester City, to join his father and Pep Guardiola, but he wanted to stay in Barcelona and break into the Barcelona first team. So because of his link with Manchester City and his father, Manchester City interest in him was unwavering, and he got his time in Porto, so we could see that he could live up to the hype that Barcelona have of him. In Barcelona, he was deemed the prodigy, and he left and joined Porto. Manchester City that has seen that he has done greatly at Porto, and we have purchased him.
You're listening to the Kipax podcast.
Being our first team. Alright, so let's look at what he has done this season in Porto. This is a 24-25 season. All the statistics, what he has been up to. Alright, first we will compare him with our current midfield. Our current defensive midfield is Gundogan and Kovacic. Alright, we have a graph comparing Nico, Gundogan and Kovacic. We have three different characteristics of duels: one, forward passing percentages, and area duels, right? Nico has better numbers than the other two players. Nico has won 5.66 duels won, 1.8 aerial duels won, and 30.4% forward passing. Forward passing is progressive passing, if you didn't know. Alright, Gundogan had 3.88 duels won, and 0.7 aerial duels, and 17.4% forward passing. That's way below Nico. Kovacic has 5.17 duels won, 0.46 aerial duels won, and 23.4% forward passing. So Kovacic forward passing is good, but not at the level of Nico, right? So we're getting is looking like a better player, right? We have Nico defensive actions. So he has produced 85 defensive actions in the 24-25 season. The actions are dispersed all over the field. Alright, so let's look at his progressive carries. His progressive carries are very numerous. He has 110 progressive carries this season. A progressive carry is defined as a player moving with the ball more than 5 yards upfield, right? But what is he? You have seen the statistic. What is he? Is he a 6 or is he a 8? Alright. In Porto, in this current season, he has played 57% of the time in defensive midfield, and he has played 27% of the time at central attacking midfield, and he has played 14% of the time at center midfield. Alright, so what would do the difference? Attacking midfield is playing as a 10 or 8, right? Defensive midfielder is playing as a 6, is playing a defensive midfielder or holding midfielder, right? And at center midfield is playing more of a Modric role, distribution of ball and interceptions, right? Right. So at Barcelona, he was playing more of a Sergio Busquets role with of a deep line in midfielder. In Porto, he was playing defensive football. That's interception, tackles, breaking up of play most of the time. In other time, he's playing box-to-box midfielder. That's like the Gerrards of our past year. Bellingham before he made the switch to number 10 at Real Madrid. Bellingham when he was at Dortmund, box to box. That's the player. That's the percentage. The next percentage he played when he was at Porto. So this is the type of player that we're getting. We are getting a player that is robust, tall, have intellect on the ball, and can distribute the ball. That's the type of player we're getting. But what are we going to do when Rodri returns from injury? First, we don't know if Rodri will return as the same player before his injury, because it was, and that's the main reason for his purchase. He can play as an 8 or a 6. So if Rodri come back and is the same player, he can take his sixth position of all in midfield, and Nico can play as an 8. And if Rodri come back and he is off the pace, we can play as a double pivot and Nico play beside him. So that's why Manchester City went for a player with both combination of defensive and attacking, and not just one player, because Rodri will eventually return and he is one of our highest pair, so he needs to get game time. So with Nico introduction, we can either play them as a double pivot or González as an 8. Alright, so thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for watching this podcast. Have a lovely day. Remember to like and subscribe. This is a fully paid podcast from the fans as paid for it, and I'm producing it, I'm self-producing it and self-distributing it. So please like and subscribe and hit that subscription button. Peace.